Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with your free pick in the Cavaliers versus Bucks NBA matchup on Friday, December 29th, 2023. Of course, if you like our free picks that we have over at Pick Dawgz every day, you'll love our premium picks. So check them on out over at the website. Of course, we also have the Dime Club and Sharp Trading Plays. These are not available at the website. You got to text the number. These are meant for people who make big bets and have big bankrolls. If that's you, go ahead and text that number. But let's get to this one. Cavaliers hosting the Bucks, two playoff teams from a year ago. Of course, the Bucks, NBA champions a few years ago, and this is a team that I think has a pretty good high side, and we haven't really seen the best of the Bucks this season. But at the same time, 23-8, not a lot of complaints there. While the Cavs hit this one at 18-13, but just 9-7 straight up in these home games, and 7-9 against the number at home. While the Bucks, not a great road team, they never really have been. 7-6 straight up and against the number, but they of course are dominant at home. They're 8-2 straight up in their last 10, 5-5 against the number, while the Cavs 6-4 in their last 10, but 7-3 against the number. So what all those things, generally what I look at is to see, well, who's exceeding expectations, who's underachieving, all of those sort of things, at least in relation to the number, because public perception is so much of everything when we're looking at point spreads and betting against the spread. When we look at the Cavaliers offense and we look at the Cavaliers, what they've done, what have you done for me lately? They've won 5 of their last 6 games outright, covering the spread in all of those games. Most recently against the Dallas Mavericks in the game in Dallas where they looked dead in the water until the fourth quarter and got it done. Meanwhile, they also beat the Chicago Bulls, who have been playing some pretty solid basketball recently. Their loss came against the Pelicans. That game was at home against the Pelicans. And then they beat the Jazz, the Rockets, and the Hawks. So, you know, the Cavs starting to put it together. They've had some big injuries this season. And, you know, this is a team that really is reliant on their top tier talent. So, you know, Donovan Mitchell constantly being questionable. Mobley's out till mid-January, and Garland out indefinitely still at this point. So, you know, these are key players in that, but the Cavs have actually started to work around these injuries. They've started to look like a better team. When we look at the Milwaukee Bucks, you know, win last time out against the Brooklyn Nets, the Nets rested everybody in that game. The line went from 3-10 in, you know, on the day of the game, and that tells you, you know, well, the Nets, they didn't even show up for that one. We saw the Bucks on Christmas Day lose to the Knicks, and, you know, a team that they had dominated. And, you know, we know that the Bucks offense is prolific, shooting over 50% from the floor, shooting over 38% from beyond the arc. These are just top tier numbers. The Bucks are a team that won a championship in recent years. They have a very big high side, and I think that we haven't seen the Bucks come near their potential, though, of what they have this season. I understand they've got the big record, and I think, you know, a lot of people look at the Bucks and the Celtics as the top 2 teams in the East, and I always say, well, the Miami Heat have been to the championship 2 of the last 4 years out of the Eastern Conference, so they certainly have to be considered. But when you look at the 2 teams of the Bucks and the Celtics, I think the Bucks have a way bigger high side than the Celtics have. And I think from the Celtics, what we've seen from them, well, that's the best that they have to offer. When we look at the Cleveland Cavaliers and, you know, what they've done offensively, really kind of middle of the pack and mundane, but it's like at the same time, they've made it work for them because they have figured out their identity. And I think that's going to be good enough for them in this game. I don't think they're going to have to do much to cover here. And I think, like I said, having those star players out, it makes everybody kind of change their game and do what you have to do. It's kind of like what we've seen, you know, when superstar players go out for the Heat or for these other teams. They rally the troops, and I think the Cavs are learning something about themselves over this run and are playing some of their best basketball that we've seen. I think it's good enough. I'm going to take the Cavs, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, be sure to use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. They're 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.